Last Sunday, we were discussing about the important aspects to practice Jnana Yoga. That is, the knowledge about the 28 elements known as Sankhya. Second one is detachment from the material world. Thorough detachment from the material world. That is called Vairagya. And willingness to practice tapasya. Willingness to practice different set of rules and regulations known as tapasya. So here we discussed about 17 rules. 17 rules and regulations. What should be done? One should be satisfied with whatever one has. One should be live in seclusion with like-minded people. One should not have any desire to acquire anything material. One should always contemplate about Atma. So like that. Such kind of 17 things were there. So whoever has knowledge about the 28 elements, Sankhya, whoever has thorough detachment, Vairagya, and whoever is willing to practice all these 17 rules and regulations, Tapasya, by doing that, in no time, will be able to realize the Paramatma. And having realized Paramatma, will attain Sayujya Mukti. Because the practitioners of Jnana Yoga, they aspire to attain Sayujya Mukti. So that is what they will attain. This is what is indicated in these verses. So now, in any case, in order to attain any result, the element of bhakti is always required. Without the element of bhakti, one cannot attain anything. As Lord Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yas chasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. It is by bhakti one realize Paramatma. It is with the help of Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga one may at max realize the self. But beyond the realization of the self, the realization of the absolute truth is only possible by Kevala Bhakti. So that is the important rule that we understand from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why whenever we say Jnana, we always say Jnana Yoga. We don't say Jnana. Jnana Yoga means Jnana plus Bhakti. That yoga stands for Bhakti always. Nishkama Karma Yoga means Nishkama Karma plus Bhakti. Ashtanga Yoga means Ashtanga plus Bhakti. Like that. So these are the 28 qualities that need to be followed by the practitioner. Equality to all jivas, no enmity, no material association, brahmacharya, mauna, performing one's occupation as an offering to the Supreme Lord, satisfied with what comes on its own accord, Mitabuk, Muni. Mitabuk, today is Ekadashi. So many devotees try to fast as much as possible. And some devotees have feast on this particular day because they think that Ekadashi comes once in a while. Let us have feast. So like that. And Muni, living in a secluded place, Shanta, Maitra, Karuna, Atmavan, free from the conceptions of I and mind, transcend the three states of intelligence by realizing knowledge of Prakriti and Purusha, see material objects from far away, and realize the supreme soul, super soul. So these are the important qualities, are important sadhana items that a Jnana Yoga practitioner should practice. When one practices these things diligently, very soon they will have the realization of Paramatma. So that particular process of realizing Paramatma will be explained in the further shlokas. Muktalingam sadabhasam asati pratipadyate tato bandhum asaschakshuh sarvanusyutamadvayam. the support of the material enters into everything. He is absolute one without a second with the eyes of. The object of realization for the liberated souls, the Paramatma, constantly remains in the temporary material world at the Antaryami. So some of the attributes of Paramatma are described. The Paramatma continuously remains in the material world as Paramatma, as Antaryami. That is, both Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Shivadakshaya Vishnu, both of them stay as long as the material world exists, in the material world only. They can't leave behind and go to spiritual world just like that. They have to be here because they need to take care of the living entities in the material world. And then he is the cause of Prakriti. He is the revealer of Prakritis, evolutes the 24 material elements. He pervades both Prakriti and its evolutes and is one alone. So it is by the pervasion of the Paramatma, everything is under operation. All activities that are happening in this material world are all because of the presence of Paramatma alone. That is very important thing. We need to understand that. So this verse talks about the characteristics of the Supreme Soul, Super Soul. He is known by the liberated people. He is the object of knowledge and realized by the liberated people. He remains shining in the temporary world as Antaryami. He is the Lord of causes. He is the source of everything. Because he is also Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu only everything appears. He is the revealer of the effects such as Mahatattva, etc. That means he creates Mahatattva and all. He is completely full in all effects and causes. He is one, Advayam. These 5 descriptive items describe the Lord as the object of knowledge coming from scripture in the state previous to realization. So that means when you say that somebody realized Paramatma, that means somebody realizes these 5 aspects of the Paramatma. The Mukta Linga will realize these 5 aspects of the Paramatma. Then one can say that one is realized the Paramatma. So then somebody may say that no, this practice is too much. Is there any shortcut to realize Paramatma and Atma? So the next 3 verses, the next set of verses talks about how to realize Paramatma with the help of Anumana Pramana and how to realize the existence of Paramatma and Jivatma with the help of Pratyaksha Pramana. So now 12 and 13 verses talks about Anumana Pramana. 14 to 16 verses talks about an example of Pratyaksha Pramana. How by Anumana and Pratyaksha we can realize, not realize completely, but we can understand the existence of Jivatma and Paramatma. So let us see how. Yata jalastabasam tala tena talastena vadrushyate sabhasena tata suryo jalastena divistitaha evam trivruddhankaro bhutendriyamanomaya स्वभासैर्लक्षितो नेना तथा भासेन सत्यदृक्.
Hare Krishna, voice is not coming.
Mataji, 1 minute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
See, with a simple experiment, Sukadeva Goswami is telling us how to realize the existence of Jivatma and Paramatma. You are in the home, and in the home, in the middle of a room somewhere, there is a water pot. Actually, this example we can relate to the village houses in the olden times, where there was no RCC chat, RCC rooftop and all. So previously they would have wooden rooftops. In that wooden rooftop, in the middle of the particular room, there would be some opening wherein sunlight would come inside. Like this is the room. In the middle of the room, there would be some opening. The sunlight would come in. So just below that the wooden roof, and in that middle the opening, just below that, if you have a plate filled with water, something like that, a vessel filled with water. In the noon time, the sunlight will be coming through that opening and coming into that water pot. And if sun is at some angle, it will reflect, and the reflection will fall on the wall or on the roof side, whatever. So assume that if the water in the vessel is standstill, then the sun's reflection in the water will be very clear. It is a perfect circle. And also the further second reflection on the wall also perfect circle. So now if a new person comes in, like a small kid comes in into the room, and he sees the reflection on the wall, and he asks the mother, mother, from where it is coming? The mother says, from the water it is coming. And the child sees in the water. In the water also there is a reflection. Then the child asks, mother, from where this reflection is coming? Then mother shows into the opening, that rooftop window. And when the child sees up on the top in the sky, in the midday, there is sun. So the understanding is that just like by looking a reflection on the wall, we can infer this reflection on the wall is coming from the reflection in the water body. And that is also when the water body is clear and stable, the reflection can be seen very perfectly. And next, the reflection within the water body is coming because there is someone called sun in the sky. So like that, we go to the topmost thing. So this inanimate body is animating because of the presence of Jivatma. And the Jivatma is present in this body because of Paramatma. Because Jivatma is an expansion of Paramatma. If we compare Paramatma to be sun, Paramatma's expansions, that is sun's expansion in the form of sun rays, some of the sun rays are entering into our room and falling in the water body. The water body can be compared to the subtle body. So when Paramatma's one of the expansion falling into the water body means falling into the subtle body. Then if the subtle body is clear, is stable without any agitation, that subtle body can give a second reflection on the wall, which is also clear. That is, this Jada inanimate gross body will start animating, start functioning in the proper way. Otherwise also will function. If the water body is fluctuating, then what happens in the image in the water body as well as the image on the wall? That also fluctuates. It is not stable. It is not clear. That is the understanding. Jnana is all about how to make the subtle body stable. When subtle body is stable, we can perceive both Jivatma and the wall We can pursue Paramatma in the water body in the form of the reflection and also the original sun. We can infer the original sun. So this is Anumana Pramana. That means we can realize both Jivatma and Paramatma only when the subtle body is stable. That means when the water body is stable, we can see the reflection on the wall, we can see the reflection in the water body, and hence we can infer there is the original source in the sky, that is sun. So this is the Anumana Pramana. Sukadeva Goswami intellectually giving a simple Anumana Pramana. For those who want to know, you can do some experiment in your home. The reflection of the reflection. This is the way in our school there was one experiment was shown how to cook with the help of sunlight. Solar cooker. It will have two mirrors, one mirror, one transparent glass. And beneath that, you have a lot of 3-4 vessels. In each vessel, you can keep some different item, rice, dal, sabji, chapati, sabji, etc. Not chapati. So there is one mirror like this. The sunlight in which direction that it would keep like that. The sunlight would fall on that, it would reflect and it will fall on the transparent mirror, and it would enhance its potency, and that will fall on the vessel, and the vessel will cook whatever is in those. So like that. So sunlight can be used for multiple things. So in that way. So this is the simple experiment by which we can understand by Anumana how the Paramatma is existing. So now, in the next verse, there is another a kind of experiment by which we can also understand the existence of Jivatma. Primarily Jivatma, and also we can infer Paramatma also. So that is Pratyaksha Pramana. That says, Bhuta Sukshmendriyamano Buddhi Adishu Iha Nidraya Lineshu Asatiyas Tatra Vinidro Nirahankriya Manyamanastadaatmanam Anashto Nashtavan Brusha Nashte Ahankarane Drushta Nashta Vitta Ivaturaha Evam Pratyavamarshasa Atmanam Pratipadyate Sahankarasya Dravyasya Yovastanam Manugraha. Intake, indeed. Little loud, mother. Little loud. They will. So here in these verses, how by Pratyaksha Pramana we can understand the existence of soul, or we can experience the presence of soul. One is deep sleep. In deep sleep, neither our gross body nor our subtle body are functional. This point we discussed many times. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks about this concept in 3rd chapter, one of the last verses. So wherein Lord Krishna says that Indriyani paranyahur Indriyebhya param manaha Manasastu parabuddhir yo buddhe parasasuta. During the daytime, after we get up throughout the day, both our gross body, subtle body, all of them are active. But in the night time, when we go to sleep, our gross body becomes inactive. Our 10 senses also become inactive. The Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas are also, they are not doing any active functions, activities. They are inactive. But the mind is active. The mind, ahankara, chetana, the breathing, they are active. The Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, the gross body made up of the Panchamahabhutas, along with them the 10 prana, the 5 pranas, and also the intelligence are inactive. They don't do anything. But in the sleep, there is a possibility that we may go through a dream. In the dream, what is happening? In the dream, we identify ourselves as a bird and flying across from one mountain to other mountain, one place to other place, across this Indian Ocean, Arabian Ocean, etc. That's what's happening there. Our mind and ahankara have created a new gross body. And during the dream, we identify with that new gross body. During the dream, I am a bird and I am flying from one place to other place. That will be my identity. My mind is same. Ahankara is same. Chetana is same. But the gross body is different now. The gross body, along with that, the senses with which the gross body is functioning, it is flying, that is different. Currently, I have a different senses, and that senses are kind of different. So, in the dream state, Swapnavastha, our mind is still active. Our ahankara is also still active. There we identify ourselves as a bird and flying and enjoy that flying. But beyond that, when we go to deep sleep, what happens? There are no dreams. There is no more second identity. That means our mind is also sleeping. Our ahankara is also sleeping. They don't have any function. In the deep sleep state, we also forget who we are. We forget that I am Pavaneshwar Das, and we also forget that I am bird. There is no identity. We just sleep. Only the Chetana is still awake, breathing is going on, and a person is sleeping. And that is the time one is intelligent. One will have an experience of, yeah, now I am. Without any material identification. Now I am the soul. That the Brahman experience can be there for a fortunate soul in the deep sleep. But that does not last long. And one may not be able to remember it also. After getting up, one may say, I have slept nicely. But one cannot say that I experienced myself. It is very rarely few will tell. Not everyone will tell. So that is one way to understand how in deep sleep, when we do not identify with our gross body and subtle body, there is a possibility that we can experience ourselves. But here Sukadeva Goswami said that a better than this is at the time of pralaya. When there is atyantika pralaya, the jiva had to give up all the 24 elements, including Chetana. One has to give up the gross body made up of 5 gross elements, the 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana. All these 24 elements are given up. Then the Atma, along with Karma and Swabhava, enters into Karmadaksha Vishnu. Atma does not have any body made up of the 24 elements. Atma alone is there now. So at that time, the Jivatma, there is a possibility that can experience oneself. Only a fortunate soul can experience. Yeah, I am actually Jivatma. I am not my mind. I am not my intelligence. I am not my Chetana. I am not my Buddhi. I am not my senses. I am not my gross body like that. One can A fortunate soul can consider like that. But an unfortunate soul cannot come to that conclusion. So what will be the state of an unfortunate soul? The unfortunate soul will cry like a poor man who just got a lot of money and that money is stolen by somebody. What kind of condition the poor man will have? The poor man worked very hard and got some money and he was taking rest and somebody stole that money. As soon as he gets up, the poor man will say that I am lost. All my endeavor is lost. For many years, he is working hard, and finally the complete money came. And if he is intense pain, like that, at the time of pralaya, when we are bereft of our gross body and subtle body, if we are attached to our gross body and subtle body, the only thing we do is we cry. Hey, मेरा शरीर चला गया, मेरा शरीर चला गया, मेरा सब कुछ चला गया, मेरा सब कुछ चला गया. That is what will happen to a unfortunate conditioned soul. But if a person has sufficient amount of detachment from the material body and subtle body, will say that good that everything has gone, no bondage. Now I am myself. So that kind of experience one can have during pralaya, if one is fortunate enough. Not for everyone, but only a fortunate soul. In both the cases, only a fortunate detached soul can experience oneself, one's own Atma, either in deep sleep or during Atyantika Pralaya. So not Atyantika, Prakritika Pralaya. But an unfortunate soul in both the cases cannot experience Atma. Instead, they will cry. मेरा सब कुछ चला गया, मेरा सब कुछ चला गया, रोते रहते हैं पूरा रात भर. So that is what happens. So by pratyaksha, one can actually experience oneself in these two conditions. So this is Sukadeva Goswami is inferring through these verses. So like that. Hare Krishna, devotees are able to follow. Any questions based on these two section of verses?
Yes, Guruji, we can follow you. Thank you.
Okay. Other devotees?
No questions for you.
Okay. So, having heard all these things, that how, what kind of detachment one should have, what kind of knowledge of 28 elements one should have, and what kind of determination to practice sadhana one should have, and what kind of sadhana one should practice, and what kind of realization one will have. Devotee is going to ask a question. So, my dear Lord, you are talking it as a very easy process, but I don't think so. It is so easy. It is a difficult process. It is not so easy. So, like that, she will ask a question. Devahutiruvacha Purusham Prakritirbrahman Na Vimunchati Karhichet Anyonya Pashrayatvacha Nityatva Prabhu. Devotees online, anyone can read?
Translation. Sri Devavati inquired, my dear Brahmana, does material nature ever give release to the spiritual soul, spirit soul? Since one is attracted to the other eternally, how is their separation possible?
So she's asking a question saying that though you are speaking as if it is very easy, but I don't think it is that easy. Oh Brahmana, oh Master, Prakriti never gives up the Lord at any time because of eternal attraction between them. So she's telling that Prakriti is very much attached to Supreme Lord. Prakriti does not give up the Supreme Lord so easily. Of course, there is a continuation of the same verse. When we combine all the verses, we understand it properly. Just as Prakriti, who has taken shelter of the Lord, never leaves his association, it would be similarly very difficult for the Jiva to leave the association of Prakriti as he has taken her shelter. Therefore, liberation must be very rare, not as easy as you say. Why would Prakriti will leave the Lord? Because Prakriti is Lord's concept, Lord's energy. So she always hovering around her. Similarly, Jiva has taken shelter of Prakriti. Why would Jiva will leave Prakriti? So it is not that easy to leave behind the Prakriti and come back to Godhead. You may say it is easy, but it may not be so. Liberation is rare by Jnana, by Vairagya, and even by Bhakti also. The Lord possessing Shakti entrusts to Prakriti is Shakti for the purpose of pastimes of creation of the material world. Prakriti takes shelter of the Lord because he possesses the Shakti. That means the Supreme Lord, by glancing upon Prakriti, Lord Vishnu empowered Prakriti to do everything. In Brahma Samhita, we read that verse. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bibharti Durga Ichchan Rupam Apiyasya Jeshtatesha Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Whatever is the desire of the Lord, that will be executed by Prakriti. What is the desire of the Lord? Creation, maintenance, and annihilation. All these things will be carried out by Prakriti in sequence because Prakriti is empowered by the Lord. Lord empowers Prakriti by investing his potency known as Kala Shakti and also other Shaktis. Same thing is mentioned here. In this way, they have mutual relationships. The Supreme Lord and Prakriti have mutual relationship. Of the two, Prakriti is temporary, so they can separate. No, the relationship is eternal. So you may say that Prakriti is temporary. Prakriti is not temporary. Prakriti is eternal. Prakriti is manifestation in the form of 24 elements, and by their combination, the universe. They are temporary. But Prakriti herself is as eternal as the Supreme Lord. So like that. So since Lord is eternal, Prakriti is eternal, their relationship is also eternal. So I don't think so that there will be some separation. So then she further continues. Yata gandhasya bhumescha nabhavo vyatirekata apam rasasya cha yata tata buddhe parasya cha. Yeah, someone read the translation. Online, anyone?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah, please, please.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. As there is no translation, as there is no separate existence of the earth and its aroma or of the water and its taste, there cannot be any separate existence of intelligence and consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Just like fragrance and earth are inseparable, taste and water are inseparable. Similarly, Prakriti and Purusha are inseparable. The Supreme Lord and Prakriti are inseparable. So how can their separation will exist? Akartuhu karma bandhoyam Purushasya yada ashrayah Guneshu sastu prakrite Kaivalyam teshu atakkatam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can I read, Prabhuji?
Here already one devotee read. Next translation you can read, Mataji. Yeah. The Jiva, though not a doer akartu, becomes bound up by action, karma bandha. Since the gunas of prakriti remain with the jiva, who takes shelter of the gunas, how can he attain liberation? Because the three modes of material nature are given to us in the form of the gross body and subtle body. Both the gross body and subtle body together can perform hundreds of activities. And Jiva, who was supposed to be witness of all those hundreds of activities, identifies with those hundreds of activities. We say that I did this, I did that, I did this, I spoke, I ate, I ran, I walk. So all these things we say as if we are doing, though actually we are not doing. Because Jiva in its original position is Akartu, is not the doer. When we say I am the doer, that binds us in this material world. So like that. If this is so for the Lord, then what to speak of the Jiva? How can there be liberation for the Jiva who takes shelter of the Gunas? Since the Gunas of Prakriti remain with him, therefore liberation must be very rare. How can there be liberation for the Jiva who takes shelter of the Gunas? Since the Gunas of Prakriti remain with him. So like that. So, Mother Devahuti is saying that just the way Prakriti and Supreme Lord are inseparable, similarly Jiva and Prakriti are also inseparable. Because it is Prakriti which is providing Jiva all the facilities of enjoyment in the form of gross body and subtle body. And also, the gross body and subtle body are the source of different activities. As a result of that, Jivatma can say that I am the doer. It is I have done. I have like that. So, according to me, it looks very difficult for the Jiva to go separate from the Prakriti and attain liberation because their bondage is so thick. Like that, she's telling. In the last verse, she said that even though sometimes there may be a temporary detachment, but that may not last long. Like that, she's saying. Kvachit tatvavamarshena nivrittam bayamulbanam anivritta पुनः pratyavatiष्ठते. Mataji, you can read.
Even translation, even if the great fear of bondage is avoided by mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principles, it may still appear again since its cause has not ceased. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Sometimes fear of samsara is destroyed by considering the elements, but fear then returns because of not destroying the samsara's cause. By having the knowledge of 28 elements, apparently we may get some kind of detachment, some kind of knowledge. Okay, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intelligence, I am not ahankara, I am the soul. So temporarily that kind of understanding may be there, but that is not permanent. One again come back to the same position. I am the body, I am this, I am that. So like that. By meditating on the elements as described by the process of Sankhya, fear of samsara goes away sometimes, but it returns back because the cause of samsara is not destroyed. But the original cause of samsara is avidya. The original cause of samsara is ichcha. When that is not gone away, our samsara will not go away. So then what is the solution? How can one become freed from that fear also? Sometimes though the one almost completely destroys samsara, it again appears. So like that. So for that, Lord Kapila gives one simple answer. So, my dear mother, by Tivra Bhakti, one can get the proper result. Not by superficial Bhakti, but if one performs determined, enthusiastic, and angry, not angry, that is intense and determined form of bhakti if one practices, one can understand how one is different from all these things. So that will be explained in the next 4 verses. So 3 verses. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Animitta Nimittena Sadharma Sadharma Namalatmana Sadharme Namalatmana Tivraya Mai Bhaktya Cha Sruta Samrutaya Chiram Jnanena Drishtatattvena Vairagyena Baliyasa Tapoyuktena Yogena Tivrenatma Samadhina Prakriti Purushasyeha Dayyamanatu Hamshinisham Tiro Bhavitri Shanakair Agner Yoneri Ivarani. Yeah, any devotee online?
Yes, Prabhuji,
Yeah,
can I read?
Prabhuji.
Yeah, please, someone read.
Yeah, can I? Haribol.
Read, Mataji. You no
Yes,
need to ask, directly read.
the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one can get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me, and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me. By thus executing one's prescribed duties, there will be no reaction and one will be freed from the contamination of matter. This devotional service has to be performed strongly in perfect knowledge and with transcendental vision. One must be strongly renounced and must engage in austerity and perform mystic yoga in order to firmly fix in self absorption. The influence of material nature has covered the living entity, and thus it is as if the living entity were always in blazing fire. But by the process of seriously discharging devotional service, this influence can be removed just as wooden sticks which cause a fire are thus themselves consumed by it. Hare Krishna.
So there are 2 things are mentioned. One is one need to practice Tivra Bhakti along with Tivra Jnana, Tivra Yoga, and also for sufficient amount of time. It is not that, okay, Tivra Bhakti on fine day on the day of Ekadashi, early morning got up and 16 rounds, yes. And other day, doing 16 rounds till midnight. It's not like that. Same enthusiasm, same determination, every day, without fail. Then there is a possibility of gradual realization. The enthusiasm should not be like a spike. The enthusiasm should be continuous and constant and determined effort. So like that. That's what is mentioned here. By energetic bhakti to me for a long time, without desire for results. Animitta nimittena means while practicing bhakti, we should not be asking the Lord, hey Lord, mujhe ye de do, wo de do, ye problem, not like that. Bhakti should be practiced for bhakti only. Sadhana bhakti should be practiced for getting prema bhakti, not to fulfill one's material desires. It's like that. Because such kind of desireless akama bhakti can purify one's heart. And it is performed according to one's occupational duties. So while executing bhakti, one should also practice one's occupational duties, varnashram duties as a matter of duty. By knowledge, with realization of the elements. Side by side, one should also have proper understanding of the 28 elements. What is what? Otherwise, one is in confusion. By strong renunciation, there should be some and sufficient amount of vairagya. Vairagyena baliyasa, not ordinary renunciation. Strong, balavan vairagya. By yoga accompanied by austerities. So one should practice Ashtanga yoga also along with tapasya. By intense concentration on the Lord. Tivrena atma samadhina. Strong meditation. Continued strong meditation. As a result of that, the subtle body of the jiva burns continuously and gradually disappears, like the kindling stick is consumed by fire. The understanding is that our practice of bhakti is purifying our subtle body. So it is like there is a wick, there is some oil in a diya. So when the wick is burning, slowly, the oil, when the oil gets completed, the whole wick becomes ash. It will no more exist. It is the wick which is giving us light. It is the wick which is getting burnt into ashes. At the end, the wick is no more. The same way, it is with the help of our gross body and subtle body we can practice bhakti. It is with their help we can go back home back to Godhead. But while going back home back to Godhead, we leave behind Supreme Lord. We leave behind the material existence and we reach the Supreme Lord. Because just like in lamping a diya, lightening a diya, the oil and the wick gets extinguished completely. Similarly, when we practice sadhana with the help of this subtle body, slowly that the subtle body burn to ashes. When the subtle body is completely destroyed, one cannot stay anymore in this world. One has to go back to Godhead. Because we can only stay in the material world as long as we are endowed with a gross body and subtle body. Without gross body and subtle body, we cannot even continue in this material world. So that is the understanding. Thus, we perform all the karmas with the help of subtle body and gross body only. So in that way. So with the help of subtle body, we perform karmas. As a result of those karmas, our subtle body gets purified and gets extinguished and will go back to Godhead. Here, karma means not only karma, we can practice jnana, we can practice ashtanga, we can practice bhakti also. Everything that we do is with the help of subtle body, gross body. So among these two, oil and wick, so we can take oil to be gross body, wick to be subtle body, something like that. So both are required. So at one point of time, both will be extinguished. So that means the Supreme Lord has given us the body. With that body, what we should do? With that gross body and subtle body, we should practice bhakti. We should practice varnashram dharma also, along with bhakti. And as a result of that, we should burn the subtle body and gross body so that we can go back to Godhead. By doing bhakti, burning means purifying. There in the case of wood gets burned. In our case, they get purified. When they are getting purified, we'll have no more attachment to the gross body and subtle body. So in that. So that is the understanding. No, it's not about difficult. That is the process. So no. How will we be able to practice bhakti? So no. For us to chant, for us to hear, for us to speak, for us to cook, for us to make garland, for us to bathe the Lord, decorate the Lord, everything we need all this gross body, subtle body. Without this gross body, subtle body, we are like a ghost. Ghost can't do anything. Not even ghost. Ghost are subtle body at least. Even not even ghost. So in that way. But by doing all these things, we are purifying our gross body also, subtle body also. One day, we'll go back to Godhead. That means purifying means burning it. When wood is there, there is a hope that we can do something with that wood. When the wood is burnt to ashes, we can't do anything. Same way, when we have attachment to this body, we try to do something with the body. When we don't identify with this body, we can't do anything with this body. For us, this body is no more ours. Like last Sunday, we were discussing that. We have 24 servants. As long as you say that you are all my servants, so you should work for me, they'll work. The day when we say that I have nothing to do with all of you, then they don't work for us. They are as good as dead for us. So like that. That is called purification. In order to go back to Godhead, we don't need. So we need to leave it behind. No, for bhakti also, while practicing bhakti, we require subtle body or gross body. But if you the time when you want to go back to Godhead, you need to leave behind gross body, subtle body. You cannot take them with you. Purification means no attachment. Contamination means attachment. बिकॉज बॉडी के लिए ना सब कुछ कर रहा है. अभी बाहर बोलेगा तो आप इतना मेहनत क्यों कर रहे हैं? सुबह सुबह उठकर लोकल ट्रेन में जा रहे हैं, फिर रात दिन भर मेहनत कर रहे हैं, फिर रात को 11 बजे आ रहे हो तो 2-3 घंटा सो रहे हैं, जल्दी 3 बजे उठ रहे हैं और वापस जा रहे हैं. क्यों? पापी पेट का सवाल. तो बॉडी के लिए भोजन चाहिए, रहने के लिए घर चाहिए, पहनने के लिए कपड़ा चाहिए. बच्चा रहेगा तो उनका पढ़ाई के लिए व्यवस्था करना चाहिए. सब किसके कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? बॉडी से आ रहे हैं. और कुछ लोग मुझे कुछ दान करने का, ये करने का, मुझे नाम चाहिए, लोग मुझे गुणगान करना चाहिए. तो बॉडी का ही सटल बॉडी ग्रॉस बॉडी का रिक्वायरमेंट्स है. As long as we are only working for the requirements of the gross body subtle body, will remain in this world. The point onwards, when we engage this gross body subtle body in the service of Supreme Lord, slowly our attachment to this body will be minimized. One day it becomes zero. The day it becomes zero, you can board the airplane. Vaikunta Viman from Pandharpur. Airlines, Vaikunta Airlines from station in Pandharpur. So like that. Pandharpur Airport. No, it is not contradiction. It's very plain, simple. Where is contradiction? Yes. That is a tool given to you as of now. With the tool only, will come to the point of no attachment. The time you come to the no attachment, you can leave it behind and you can go aram se. So I would not give this example, but I would say that during our 1 year VTA training, when I came to Bombay in 2010, from 2010 May till 2011 May, 1 year we are supposed to stay in the VTA, and morning program we have to attend everything and then go to office and work and come back. So initially it was like jolly, everything is fine. 6 months later we decided that okay, let me join BT. So that moment when we decided that we want to join BT, we are counting every day when it is getting to complete. From January onwards we are counting every day literally. January, February, March, April. In the month of April, okay, 30 more days, 29 more days, 28 more days, 26 more days. It's like that. So otherwise, for the first 6 months from May to December, there is a lot of attachment for office work. मेरा work ये करने का, वो करने का, ये करने का, वो करने का. Busy with for that. From January onwards, there is no attachment. अभी मुझे टाटा बोलने का समय आ गया. We are doing our duty, but not with attachment. We are just doing because we have to do. Because they are paying a salary, we are simply doing it. And by the way, we are counting number of days. How many more days? Okay, 2 months more, 1 month more, 30 days more, 20 days more, 15 days more, 10 days more, 5 days more, 2 days, 1 day. Hurry. So even literally we were going through that experience. We were counting, and when that is done, yes, we are freed from the troubles of traveling in the local trains of Mumbai and running for job and lot of anxiety for attending meetings and completing deadlines, all these things. So like that, one will prepare for going back to Godhead. So one should prepare. Okay, one more year, one more month, one more day, like that. I'm done. So, but parallelly, what is happening? There is complete detachment from the activities of this world. It's like that. Once we have resigned, when we came out of the job, did we ever look back? We are not. We never inquired afterwards what happened. The project, what we were doing, the project in which we were working, what happened to the project? Of course, when we meet some of the office people, we may ask, but we are not so much interested about that. So now our point is that I am done with that. I have nothing to do with that. When we come to that point, we can go back to Godhead. With respect to whatever else, whatever we do in this world. So that should be. Which attachment? Where is the other attachment? Now you are in the spiritual world. So you will have spiritual world का जो सेवा है वो करना चाहिए ना उसको तो. That is in the spiritual world, no, not here in the material world. That is no more in the material world. So that is anyway required. That is because you have that attachment. That's why you are able to give it this up. If you don't have that attachment, you cannot give this up. Because that attachment is so much. Because the point is that, so I want to be here. That's why I'm giving that up. Even though it was so attractive, even though there is a possibility that there is an immediate increment and there is upgradation, there is salary increment, all these things are there, still no more interested in this because this is your attachment for this. So like that. I'm just giving an example. Don't take me seriously. So it is like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. See, take 1 second. Taking another job means still attachment for a job. I'm not talking about job. Giving up all jobs. Totally. No more the worldly point of view engagement. ये जॉब छूट गया बट और दूसरा जॉब हो गया ना. बट यार छूटने के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं. एक बार अंदर आ गए, अंदर हो गए, बस लॉक कर दिया, अब बाहर नहीं जा सकते. So like that. That means once you go to Vaikuntha, Edgatva na nivartante. Saddama paramamama. It's like that. We can only go when two things they are there. One is you should have complete attachment for that. At the same time, you should also have complete detachment from this. If there is 1% of attachment here also, you cannot be there permanently. You will come back again here. Yes, Prabhu. Jai Gauranga Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanyapana. Prabhuji, here it is mentioned that we need to perform Tivra Bhakti Yoga along with the Varnashram Dharma and the Ashtanga Yoga. So that would not be pure Bhakti. It would be Miss Bhakti, right?
See, here we are talking about not Bhakti Yoga. We are talking about what? Jnanayoga practitioner. For a Jnanayoga practitioner, how to attain perfection? So even though one may be Jnanayoga practitioner, he also has to practice little bit. Tivra Bhakti, little bit Tivra Ashtanga Yoga, little bit Tivra Varnashram Dharma also. That means, while if one is in Vanaprastha ashram or Sannyasa ashram, so whatever duties that are required as a Vanaprastha or as a Sannyasi, one should perform them Tivra, with Tivrata. So like that.
This is not meant for Bhakti Yogis. Only it's meant
See,
for
Prabhuji,
Jnana.
again, why again Bhakti Yogi? He is also a sadhaka, we are also a sadhaka.
I'm talking like from our perspective. Like
even for a Bhakti Yogi also, one should practice Tivra Bhakti in order to go back home back to Godhead. Even a Bhakti Yogi, if we are in Varnashrama system, so we need to practice our Varnashrama duties with that intensity. And we also need to do some jnana with that intensity. We also need to practice some yoga with the same intensity, if required.
So here Jnana and Yoga means like cultivating knowledge of Bhakti and yoga means meditation on the form of the Lord.
See, you don't need to interpret like that. Even Ashtanga Yoga, what is Ashtanga Yoga? All these different processes. So later on, we will study when we come to actually what is yoga and all. We will study in the next chapter. But before that, even a devotee like Prithu Maharaj, you know, one of the expansion of
Yes,
Supreme
yes.
Lord. He
Yes.
himself took the shelter of Ashtanga Yoga to leave the body immediately and go back to Vaikuntha. He's a great devotee, the Lord himself. Why did he took the shelter of Ashtanga Yoga? Because with the help of Ashtanga Yoga, you can raise the prana from the Mooladhara Chakra up to Brahma, up to Ajna Chakra, and then pierce into Brahmarandra. You can go to Vaikuntha instantly. So like that. I'm not talking about these points more elaborately because those points will come in the next chapter. A Jnana Yogi also, we talked about this point previously also many times. When he has sufficient detachment, he has two options. Either he can wait for natural death, or he can take shelter of Ashtanga Yoga, Sat Chakra Yoga process, and raise prana from Mooladhara Chakra to Ajna Chakra and piercing the Brahmarandra, and you enter into Sahyajya Mukti instantly. That is the meaning of taking shelter of Ashtanga Yoga.
So, but if one takes shelter of Ashtanga, but he will not be able to develop prema, like.
He does not want prema. He is willing to go to Sahyajya Mukti.
In case you gave example of Prithu Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj is a devotee, so his goal will be prema, not just a mukti, right?
His goal is prema, but he is taking the help of Ashtanga Yoga to go there. See,
He
these are
has
all
already
tools, Prabhuji. These are all tools, Prabhuji. Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, these are all tools. Bhakti Yoga use prema, but Jnana Yogis, Ashtanga Yogis use Bhakti Yoga to realize the Paramatma and attain Sayujya. They use Bhakti Yoga as a tool. But for devotees, Bhakti Yoga is a tool as well as it is the means also. It is the means and goal. Bhakti Yoga is our tool and Bhakti Yoga is our goal. For Jnana Yogis and Ashtanga Yogis, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all these are tools and their goal is entering into Brahman. So like that.
okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, if they want, see, that is there, that will be minority. Only very few Jnanis and Ashtanga Yogis will aspire to enter into Vaikuntha and serve the Lord. It is not that they don't have bhakti. It is not like that. Jnana means it is not that they are not bhaktas. They are the devotees of Brahman. The devotees are the devotees of Bhagavan. So this point we discussed many times. We are not talking about Mayavadis. We are talking about Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis have the complete understanding of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. But they have natural attraction towards Brahman. Like in Maharashtra, all the Maharashtra born, brought up people have natural attraction for Vitala. Today, all of them are seen in Pandharpur. Today, you see, you go to Pandharpur, na, lakhs of people are there. All Maharashtrians are assembled in Pandharpur because since childhood, they were hearing, they were seeing, they were serving Vitala. For them, Vitala is their natural attraction. Similarly, for Andhra people, Telugu people, Balaji is natural attraction. During Brahmotsav, all Telugu people are seen in Tirupati. Not all means majority. So like that. Mataji saying that Gujaratis, they have natural affinity towards Srinathji. Like that for UP people on Guru Purnima, they are all seen doing Govardhan Parikrama. And Govardhan Puja also, they do Govardhan Parikrama. For them, Govardhan is their worshipable deity. So like that. So they are also devotees, but they are the devotees of Brahman. So they want to go to Brahman. And other devotees are devotees of Bhagavan. They want to go to Bhagavan. So like that. And having gone there, they are also doing bhakti there only. We discussed about this. What do you mean by Sahajya Mukti also? Many times we discussed. I gave the example of a festival. Like this Sunday, we are going to have Brahmosa festival. So the devotees who are nearby in the vicinity, near to the temple, they are from Monday onward, they are coming every day, they are doing something. They are preparing something, they are preparing some special rice, some special decoration items. And from tomorrow onward, the Mataji start cooking for the Lord. All the different variety of food stuff they prepare, laddus, this, that, special offering, etc., etc. Those who are nearby, they are getting the opportunity to serve the Lord in some way or the other. Even on the festival day also, they keep doing services. Since morning, they keep cooking, they keep making garlands and this, that, so many things. And there are some devotees are practicing drama, and children are practicing the other, what do you call that? The kind of games, not games, the cultural show and all they'll show na the palaki. They are preparing for last 1 week. So that means they all want to do some direct service to the Lord. They are doing it. These are all nearby devotees, and devotees who are far, like Vasai Road, Kalyan, Nalasopara, etc., etc. They can't come every day, but they come on Sunday. And if you tell them to do some service, they say that no, we are coming from very far. We want to be part of the festival. We want to see all the festival programs, but we will also do some service, but sometime, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour. So they do 1 2 hour service, and remaining time they observe themselves in festivities. And there are some people who are beyond Kalyan, beyond Dombiveli. They are in the forest, and no one knows whether they are existing or not. So how they will take part in the festival? They have their mobile. They open their mobile, they start RG Media YouTube channel, and they keep seeing the entire festival, starting from Mangalarti all the way up to Mahaarati. Huh? Not sick people. We are talking about the people in the forest, in the mountain forest. So the people who are nearby temple and the people, devotees who are staying in the temple, the devotees nearby and staying in the temple are there like Sarupya Mukti and Samipya Mukti. They are very close to the Lord. So they get to serve the Lord regularly. And people who are in suburban, they are like Sarishti and Salokya. They are also in Mumbai, but they are very far. And they come to temple once in a week. And they get to do some service, they get to take part in the festivities. And people who are in the forest and mountain area, they are in Sayujya. They are also seeing the festival. How? By Doordarshan. They don't serve and they don't come for service also. And they say that, आप लोग जो करना करो, मुझे छोड़ दो. मुझे बख्श नहीं, मुझे ये बिल्कुल जमता नहीं. ये लोकल ट्रेन में चढ़ना, लोकल ट्रेन में आना, इतना भीड़ में रहना, मुझे अकेला अकेला रहना अच्छा लगता है. अब जो भी आप लोग कर रहे हैं, मैं यहाँ से भी वही कर रहा हूँ. आप भीड़ में रहकर एक के ऊपर एक को गिरता हुआ आप देख रहे हैं, मैं टीवी में अच्छे से देख रहा हूँ with hi-fi HD quality. So that is their activity. This is how the Sahajya Muktas, they also see the pastime Supreme Lord in their meditation. But they don't serve the Lord in person directly. Maybe regularly or weekly basis. This is the difference. So don't undermine them. They have their own requirements. It's like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
But
the Sahajya Muktas, they are impersonalists, no? So how come they are able to see the pastimes of the Lord? Or
don't
Lord?
Call them impersonalists. They call them as Brahmavadis. Try to use some Sanskrit words. Sanskrit words will give you proper meaning. They are Brahmavadis.
Yeah, so Brahman doesn't have form, right?
It's okay, but that Brahman is nothing but the manifestation of Bhagavan.
Yeah, but in Brahman there is no Leela, there is no Roop. There's no...
In Brahman there is no Leela, but in their meditation they can see the Leela of the same Brahman in his Bhagavan feature. That means the Leela is happening in here, Tirgam Chowpati Mandir. But they are in the far distant, but still they are able to see the Leela. But in their forest, Leela is not happening. Leela is happening somewhere else, but they are able to see the Leela. That is understanding. And
But
for those who
Hare
are in the
Krishna.
temple, they are part of the Leela.
they are like they are attached to Brahman, then why would they will desire to see the Leela of the Lord?
See, Prabhuji, what do you mean by attached to Brahman?
Means they're just like in non-active state they remain, right? They just enjoy the bliss of Brahman.
See, unfortunately, we do not know completely what exactly the people who are aspiring Brahman, what they are thinking about, etc. Though in Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada always talks about the Mayavadis. Mayavadis never ever accept the existence of Bhagavan. Thus, they never ever think of meditating upon Lord's pastimes. They are not at all interested in Lord's pastimes. They are not at all interested in temple activities. They actually say that what you people are doing is all simply time pass, useless waste of time. Like that, the Mayavadis say. Of course, the atheists also say the same thing. Atheists. But Brahmavadis will never say like that. Brahmavadis say that, okay, आप लोग करते रहो, आप वहां से करो, देखो, मैं यहाँ से देखता हूँ. So that is the understanding of Brahmavadi. Brahmavadi means they want to remain peaceful at one place and meditate on. Of course, they also meditate on Paramatma aspect. They also meditate on Brahman aspect. They also meditate on Bhagavan aspect too. I am just trying to give the more positive side of Brahmavadis. This may not be the case with every Bhagavatam speaker. They chastise Brahma.
Yes, means even they see the form of the Leela of the Lord, but still they are happy with their state.
That's what they want, na. Abhi dekho, given a chance, some people will want like that, na. Yeah, some people does not like this beard and all. They don't want to.
No, but in a material world there is a inconvenience, but in spiritual world there is nothing like inconvenience, right? There nothing like that. There would be an
Still, it's
space
okay,
and time
Prabhuji. It's
problem.
okay. It's okay. I understand your mood, but that is what they want. You respect them. Your mood is that everyone should serve. No problem. You serve. You serve your service and you also serve their service. We are happy to give you double service. There are some people who want to be in that state. Just respect them. So
Yeah,
it's
obviously,
okay.
we should. Brahmavadis are the bona fide spiritual. So that obviously there's no. We do not accept Mayavadis, but we do accept them.
Yeah. Yes.
Brahmavadis as the bona fide path, and so I'm not trying about disrespect. I'm just trying to understand like how exactly and how means, because most of the time, as you yourself said, that most of the Bhagavatam speaker criticize the Brahmavadis, and that
What
normally we
exactly they
used
say
to do.
Brahmavadis? They say impersonalist. Normally,
Yeah.
the word impersonalist stands for Mayavadis. So in the English, we don't have different translations.
Yeah.
So in that way, I
So
said use Sanskrit word.
Brahmavadis are not 100% like impersonal. They are attached to Brahman also, and they are attached to Bhagwan also. But their more attachment is towards Brahman, and they are happy in that state. And
Yes.
sometimes they want to see the pastimes, they can able to see the pastimes.
Yes. Definitely. Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, example of Brahmavadis are the four Kumaras then?
Yeah, Sukadeva Goswami was also initially a Brahmavadi. He was happy meditating upon Lord's pastimes in the womb of the mother. He was not willing to come out of the womb for 13 years. Then the same upon whom he was meditating, the same Lord, when he came, then he said, okay, since you are telling, I'll come out. How did Sukadeva Goswami believe the words of Krishna? He was only meditating upon Brahman. Because he knew that Brahman and this Krishna are not different from each other. He told his father also. The only when that person upon whom I am meditating, when he comes and gives me assurance, I'll come out of the womb. Otherwise, I will not come.
Yeah, then Krishna himself came and the story is like that. Okay, yes, Prabhuji.
It's like that. Okay. We'll continue. So the point here is not only for Jnana Yogis, for any sadhaka, whatever bhakti we do, only when we do with great intensity, Tivra Bhakti, Tivra Jnana, Tivra Yoga, Tivra Karma, there is a result. All of you also can watch for it. All of you have children. They prepare for JEE. Especially JEE preparation should be done very rigorously. It cannot be done superficially. हाँ आजकल बच्चे स्कूल के कर रहे हैं, but forget about all those things. Will take only 1 year. We take the example of 1 year long-term students who go for coaching 1 year after intermediate +1, +2. They go for 1 year long-term. They can't even look outside their window also. For 1 full year, at least from the student's point of view, they can't go for a movie. They can't go to a restaurant. They can't go out for excursion. Monday to Sunday. They can't even understand what is the day today. Today is Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. They can't understand the difference between the days. And they have to prepare like that. Then only they'll be able to get single digit or double digit rank. Otherwise, it will go in thousands. So, for getting a rank in JEE, one need to prepare like that. Then what to speak of going back to guarded? We think that this is so easy or what? Going back to guarded is equal to 1 crore times JEE. Not 1 times 2 times. 1 crore times JEE. So how much dedication, how much eagerness we should be having in order to go through and crack BTG. This is BTG exam. So like that. So that means, I mean to say, we need to have 1 crore times more eagerness, like the eagerness the students of JEE have for cracking JEE. So like that. And we need to put similar kind of endeavor also. Strong endeavor. Then only we can make through. I'm sorry, this I'm not saying, Bhagavatam is saying. So in the very verse, Tivra is told. If just now Prabhuji was quoting one verse from second canto. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kamo va udarati. Tivrena bhakti yogena ejeta purusham para. Tivrena bhakti yogena ejeta purusham. So one need to worship the Parama Purusha with Tivra Bhakti. Whether you are with full of desires, without desires, with the desire of getting moksha, whatever it is, one need to practice Tivra Bhakti and Tivra Yoga, Tivra Jnana, Tivra Karma. Tivra. So it's like that. Even just to maintain our families also, one need to be Tivra. One need to be intensely focused. Otherwise, you can't. Somebody else will chastise us. So for the worldly activities, we are so Tivra. Then what about the spiritual activities? If you want to go to spiritual world, how much Tivra we should be? So all of us know it. So there is no need to have a special explanation. Bhukta Bhoga Parityakta Drushta Dosha Cha Nityasha Neshwarasya Shubham Datte Prema Himnesi Tasya Cha. Desiring to Lord and by therefore giving it up, living it becomes his own glory. One important point to become Tivra. तो आपने बोल रहे हैं तीव्र भक्ति करने का. So how to get that Tivrata? We can get to Tivrata when we burn our fingers. When our fingers are burnt by fire, next time we will not play with fire. Same way, when we go through bad experiences while trying to enjoy the material nature, we will not try to enjoy the material nature again. If we are realized, we will not enjoy. If we are not realized, we say, okay, this thing is not giving me happiness, I will go to that side. That will give me happiness, I'll go that side, will give me happiness. Like that one may think. But a realized person will not go back to Prakriti again for material enjoyment. That is that. Since the Jiva sees the faults in Prakriti, which has been given up after enjoyment, Prakriti can never harm that Jiva who is capable of discrimination and is situated on the correct path. When we understand that, Prakriti will only give us trouble. That means when we'll realize that Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam, when we realize that this material world is Dukkhalayam, and when we do not turn toward Dukkhalayam, the Dukkhalayam also will not turn to us. It is as simple as that. As long as we are looking at Prakriti, Prakriti will look at us. As long as we stop looking at Prakriti, Prakriti also will stop looking at us. Prakriti also will not cause trouble to us. Then we are free to go back home, back to Godhead. Then we are free to execute Tivra Bhakti. We can only start executing Tivra Bhakti when we stop looking at Prakriti. Till then, we have to work hard. We have to struggle. So like that. What is the cause of problems in the state of lack of discrimination? Does not exist for a person with discrimination. That is expressed. When we do not have proper discrimination of what is what, we are in trouble. When we have proper discrimination due to sufficient amount of bad experiences and sufficient amount of realizations, we are no more in trouble because we have understood. Playing with Prakriti means playing with fire. So let me stay away from Prakriti. Then one is in proper discrimination, one is free of problems. That person is on the right track. That person can execute Tivra Bhakti. If a person in that state executes Tivra Bhakti, very soon will attain whatever one want to attain. And that is explained in the next two verses. This person will attain the desired goal. Yata hi apratibuddhasya prasvapo bhavanartha brut saeva pratibuddhasya navai mohaya kalpate. Devotees online can read.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation:
Reading will not be listened.
the dream is one's consciousness is almost covered, and one sees many inauspicious things. But when he is awakened and fully conscious, such inauspicious things cannot bewilder him. Hare Krishna.
It is like, as long as we are troubled by the things of the material world means we are in the dream. As long as we are in the dream, we are troubled by the dream experiences. When we wake up, though the impressions of the dream are there, but we are not in anxiety. In the dream, assume that some snake is running after you, some tiger is chasing after you. In the dream, you are afraid of life. But when you come out of the dream, still you have the impression of the snake is running after you and tiger is chasing after you, but now you are not afraid. Now you know the snake and tiger are only in the dream, not in reality. They cannot harm me now. Even though you have that impressions of tiger being chasing you and snake being after you, but now you are not at all worried. That means now you are in knowledge. What kind of knowledge? The knowledge is that whatever happened to me, that all happened in the dream. Dream is a dream. Dream is not real. Same way, we should also understand that whatever is happening around me, it is all a dream. Whatever troubles I am going through, they are only troubles in the dream. And situate yourself out of the dream and see this life as a dream life. Then one is not affected by the dream life. That is only possible when we have sufficient amount of detachment from this world and when we engage in Tivra Bhakti. When those two things are there, we can do this. We can treat this current life as a dream and situate ourselves outside the dream and see this dream as if you are seeing a movie. So like that. This is the state one should come to. Whether one may be Jnana Yogi, Ashtanga Yogi, Nishkama Karma Yogi or Bhakti Yogi. The moment when we come to this state, then we are ready to give up this material world. See this world as a dream world. See the activities of in this world are the dream activities, except Bhakti activities. Only Bhakti activities, because Bhakti activities are beyond three modes. Whether you do the Bhakti activities in the dream or outside the dream, they are beyond three modes. Yeah, they have eternal existence. But all other activities, all the way up to Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Varnashram duties, they are all part of the dream only. That we should understand. Except Bhakti and Bhakti activities, all other activities that we perform we should accept them as dream activities and remain a witness to those activities. Then such a person will be given flight ticket. Then one should go to Pandharpur and board the Vaikuntha Airlines and go back to Godhead. It's like that. This is philosophy. Try to understand. I'm not trying to what you can say, exaggerate it, but this is the philosophy. So one should come to that point. This is the place where we can, in the Bhagavatam class, we cannot do this. If we do Bhagavatam class like this, that will be last Bhagavatam class. So like that. What is the cause? Okay, this we did it. Yeah. What is the cause of problems in the state of lack of discrimination? Does not exist for a person with discrimination. This is expressed. Evam vidita tattvasya prakritirmai manasam yunjato napako kuruta atma ramasya karhi chet. Such a person is called as Atma Rama. Such a person is called as, Prabhupada writes, first line. Translation on the first line. Enlightened soul. One who understands this worldly activities are dream. That person is called as enlightened soul. That means Vidita Tattvasya. One understands this world Tattvataha. He who understands this world as a dream had understood the Tattvata. Prakriti cannot at any time harm the person who has fixed his mind on me, who knows about the elements and who enjoys the self. Such a person enjoys in the self, such a person only meditating on the supreme absolute truth. Some may be meditating on the Brahman aspect, some may be meditating on Paramatma aspect, some may be meditating on the Bhagavan aspect. But ultimately they are meditating on absolute truth. Three things. He is enlightened because he is seeing the worldly activities of the dream. He is experiencing the true happiness of being Atma. Till now, he was only experiencing the mixed happiness. For the first time now, because one is identifying oneself with Atma, one is experiencing the real happiness. And one is meditating upon absolute truth. Such a person is called Atma Rama. Atma Rama means Jivan Mukta. Atma Rama means such a person is in Samadhi state. He is on the pinnacle of Ashtanga Yoga. He is on the pinnacle of Jnanayoga. He is Jivan Mukta. Though he is living, he is already liberated. So like that. Such a person is not at all touched by Prakriti. Prakriti cannot touch him because he is not looking at Prakriti. What Prakriti will do? When we are not looking at Prakriti, what Prakriti will do? Prakriti may come in front of us and she may dance also. If we are not looking at Prakriti only, what she will do? She cannot harm such a person. Prakriti can only do something to a person who will look at Prakriti. So that is as simple as that. So now, how that Atma Rama, how that Jivan Mukta, how that Samadhi situated person will attain liberation. The final state is entering into Sayujya. Some people go to Vaikuntha, some people go to Sayujya. Currently, we are talking about Jnana process of Sayujya. How they will go to Sayujya? Or if they desire to enter into Vaikuntha, they can also enter into Vaikuntha. How? The process is explained in the next. Yadaivam Adhyatma Rataha Kalena Bahujanmana Sarvatra Jata Vairagya Aramba Bhuvanamuni Madbhakta Pratibuddharto Matprasadena Bhuyasa Nishreyasam Swasamstanam Kaivalyakyam Madashrayam Prapnoti Hanjasadhira Swadrisha Chinna Samshaya Yadgatvana Nivarteta Yogi Lingadvinirgame. Yeah, devotees online, quickly read.
When a person thus engage in devotional service and self-realization for many years and births, he becomes completely reluctant to enjoy any one of the material planets, even up to the highest planet, which is known as Brahmaloka. He becomes fully developed in consciousness. My devotee actually becomes self-realized by my unlimited causeless mercy, and thus, when freed from all doubts, he steadily progresses towards his destined abode, which is directly under the protection of my spiritual energy of unadulterated bliss. This is the ultimate perfectional goal of the living entity. After giving up the present material body, the mystic devotee goes to that transcendental abode and never comes back.
That mystic devotee, the Jnana Yogi, will go to that transcendental abode known as Brahman and will never come back. Yad Gatva Na Nivarteta. Na Nivarta Ita. Ita means here. Such a person will not come back to this material world again. When a sage engages for many lifetimes, it is not that एक life में हो जाएगा. बहुनाम जन्मनाम अंते ज्ञानवान माम प्रपद्यते. Even they also need to work hard for many lifetimes. One life में होगा नहीं. In spite of being तीव्रा. Sometimes it can be done one life also, but still, on a safe note, they are telling many lifetimes. When a sage engages for many lifetimes in meditation on Atma, Adhyatma Rata, with complete detachment from everything, Sarvatra Jata Vairagya, complete detachment for everything, in all the words including all the way up to Brahmaloka. Such a person does not even look at Brahmaloka also. Then what to speak of looking at Bhuloka? And becomes my devotee. Understanding the ultimate truth, by my bountiful mercy, he easily attains the highest benefit. His Swarupa called Brahman, which is under my shelter. So these verses are nothing but the repetition of Bhagavad Gita verses. Chapter 18, text number 54 and 55. In 54, Lord Krishna says, Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu. That is the consciousness of a person who he reached Brahmabhuta platform. And then Having given up that Jnana, Ashtanga Yoga, and having given up looking at Bhuloka, Borloka, Sargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, everything, then one is left with Bhakti Yoga alone. Then by the practice of that Bhakti Yoga, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, Yavan Yas Chatmi Tatvataha. One understands me Tatvataha. What kind of understanding they will have? According to their desire. Some understand me as Tat, Brahman. Others understand me as Mam, Bhagavan. And then with that understanding, with that realization, Vishate Tadantaram, they will enter into that transcendental abode. If they understand me as Brahman, they will enter into that abode where Brahman is there. If they understand me as Bhagavan, they will enter into that abode where Bhagavan is there. That is as simple as that. But in this verse, we are talking about Jnana Yogis. It is talking about Kaivalya. Nishreyasam Swa Samsthanam Kaivalyakyam Madashrayam. Kaivalya, the place is known as Kaivalya. It is under my complete shelter, complete protection. And that is Swa Samsthanam. That is that Jiva's eternal residence. Jiva goes there. Prapnoti Hanjasa Dhira. Such a Dhira having attained that abode. Swadrisha Chinna Samshaya, giving up all the misgivings, will never return to this material world again. Yogi Lingad Vinirgame. Having attained that position, having cut all doubts by his knowledge of Atma, having destroyed the subtle body, Lingad Vinirgame, subtle body also destroyed completely. The steady yogi, Dhira yogi, does not return to this material world. He is not an ordinary yogi. He is a Dhira yogi. Because he is a Dhira Jnana yogi, he entered into Brahman. If a person is a Dhira Bhakti yogi, will enter into Vaikuntha and will not return to this world. This is sadhana. With this kind of determination, this kind of understanding one practices, one will never ever come back to this material world. Swa Samsthanam means the Swarupa beyond the material body called Brahman. I am the shelter of that Brahman. For it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmanohi Pratishtanam. I am the base of Brahman. When the subtle body is destroyed and doubts are cut by the knowledge of the pure Atma, the yogi does not return. So we should destroy our subtle body and go back to spiritual world so that we will not come back again. If something is remaining here, we still have attachment for it. So we look backward. When we look backward, we'll come back again. So like that. This is how such a Jnana Yogi practitioner in due course of time with many lives endeavor will attain perfection and will never return. The last verse of this chapter, Yadana yoga pachitasu cheto mayasu sorry. Yadana yoga pachitasu cheto mayasu siddhasya visajyate naga ananya hetushu atame gati syad आत्यंतिकी यत्र न मृत्युहासः.
When a perfect yogi, attention is no longer attached to the byproducts of mystic powers, which are manifestation of the external energy, his progress towards me becomes unlimited, and thus the power of death cannot overcome him.
My dear mother, when the yogi's heart is no longer attached to the abundant enjoyments available only through yoga, he can attain final liberation. Here, the word yoga stands for Ashtanga Yoga. This Jnana Yoga practitioner also taking the help of Ashtanga Yoga in order to attain liberation. But while doing so, Ashtanga Yoga practices offer the 8 kind of mystic siddhis: Anima, Lagima, Prapti, Vasita, Kama Vasita, etc. etc. If at all the sadhaka becomes attracted by these 8 siddhis, one will remain here in this material world. Because This Jnanayoga practitioner also practicing Ashtanga Yoga in order to attain perfection quickly. But for practicing Ashtanga Yoga, the Ashtanga Yoga will give some side benefits in the form of Ashtasiddhis, Anima, Lagima, Prapti, Pasita, Kamosya, etc. If somebody is attracted to those Ashtasiddhis, one will remain here in this material world. So even though the Siddhis will come, one should not look at them. Then only one can go and attain Rajya Mukti. That means here indicative Bhagavatam says that one should have that kind of detachment. It's not an ordinary detachment. It is foolproof, complete detachment. Then only one can go back wherever one want to go. Otherwise, even if there is small attachment also, one cannot go back. The same thing we can also understand from Mahabharata. When the 5 Pandavas, along with Draupadi, they were going back to Swarga, according to Mahabharata. One by one were falling down. Draupadi, Nakula, Sahadeva, Arjuna, Bhima. Only Yudhishthira Maharaj could go in the self-same body to from Mahabharata Swarga. Why? Because the other people have some attachment in relation to this place. Though 5 Pandavas are husbands, Draupadi had some special attraction towards Arjuna. And Nakula had special attraction towards his own beauty. Sahadeva had special attraction towards his own intelligence. Arjuna had special attraction towards his own skill. Bhima had special attraction towards his own eating habit. His liking for eating more and more. Only Yudhishthira Maharaj had no attachment for anything. He was completely Atmaram, indifferent. That's why he could go a self-same body to Sargaloka. So even to go to Swarga, one should be like Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then what to speak of going to spiritual world? What kind of detachment one should have? Kindly imagine yourself. Such a yogi, when engaged in meditation on Atma for many lifetimes with complete detachment, becomes my devotee, understanding the absolute truth by my mercy, does not get attracted even to the Siddhis. And such a person is not at all touched by the death. Death will laugh at everyone. Even in this world, one may say that I am the ruler of the entire Bhumandala. But one day, he becomes subservient to death. But only this person who is going back to Godhead is not touched by death. Death has no control over this person. Otherwise, death can control everyone. Death came to Dhruva Maharaj when Dhruva Maharaj was going back to Godhead. What Dhruva did? In order to climb the airplane, Dhruva kept his feet on the head of the death. That means a pure devotee can keep their feet on the head of the death and climb the Vaikuntha Vimana and go back to Godhead. But all others are pulled by the death, by the death noose. What is that? Emapash. So that is what happens for people in other conditions. So this is all about from this chapter. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, how to destroy the subtle body?
No, you don't have to destroy. It automatically will destroy. See, for example, how will you destroy the wick and ghee?
By burning. By burning, they will get destroyed.
Burning means performing bhakti activities. When we practice bhakti activities with complete intensity and stop material activities, that means stop performing activities with the material desires and perform all the activities as service to Supreme Lord. Eventually, the gross body and subtle body are burnt to ashes. Just like the wick and ghee becomes ash. So like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other
Hare
devotees? Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in this, one of the verses mentions that from Brahman, one never comes back. But in the earlier classes, I've heard that from Brahman also one comes back, no? Because there's no service.
Wait. Earlier class of whom?
Sorry.
Whose classes you have heard it? Except Pavaneshwar Das class. Everywhere you hear that only. All Prabhupada's purports, all of our Bhagavatam speakers will talk about whoever goes to Brahman, they will return. They will come back. There are two reasons for this. The one reason, I have told this many times also, one reason is that all our acharyas, and including Srila Prabhupada, they want to dismiss Mayavada. Very rarely they talk about Brahmavada understanding in their commentaries. Normally when they talk about impersonalists, they are hinting at Mayavadis. Because Mayavadis are such kind of aparadis, they say that Bhagavan does not exist. Vaikunta does not exist. The material world does not exist. They say that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Other than Brahman, that nothing else exists. That is what they say. Because they actually deny the manifestation of Bhagavan. They say Bhagavan is also a dream character. Bhagavan has no astitva. That's why our Vaishnava Acharyas are very angry with the Mayavadis. That's why whenever there is opportunity, even whenever there is no opportunity also, they condemn and they kind of rip apart the Mayavadis. That's why we see in Prabhupada's Tika and Acharya's Tika, there is always this Mayavada Khandana. Though the Mayavadis say that I have attained Brahman, our Vaishnava says that even though they may say that they attain Brahman, they will fall down immediately from Brahman. They will never ever stay in Brahman. So they take a very strong stand against Mayavadis. So this is one aspect. The second aspect is our Vaishnava Acharyas as Dasya Bhaktas need to promote Dasya Bhakti. Yes or no? If we are advertisers of Dasya Bhakti, we need to promote Dasya Bhakti. Just like our Prabhuji was telling some time back. There is no service. Because our Vaishnava Acharyas are all Dasya Bhaktas need to promote Bhakti. They always say that only seva. Don't look at Brahman where there is no seva. Because Jiva want to serve, even if you go to Brahman, you will come back because there is no seva. So like that. Because we need to promote seva, so we need to undermine other things. That is natural. That's why, even though when Bhagavatam is talking about Brahmavada and all these things, either our devotees translate them into in the form of bhakti, or they talk about impersonalism and then undermine it. Because they want to inspire all our devotees, all our devotee communities, develop a desire only against seva. Not, they should never ever think of going to Brahman and become indifferent to seva. They do not want that. Like our Prabhuji is so interested in seva, he wants everyone to do seva. Same way our Vaishnava Acharyas also want everyone to do seva, to engage in seva. So in that way we have to understand. But Bhagavatam as a scripture will talk about all the bona fide processes. But since we are hearing about Bhagavatam in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we apply the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya mood upon Bhagavatam. That's why, even though when Bhagavatam is talking about Sahajya Mukti and all, so Prabhupada translates into Vaikunta only. Prabhupada does not encourage or does not talk about Sahajya Mukti so much. Even though wherever Bhagavatam talking about, Bhagavad Gita talking about Karma, Jnanayoga, so Prabhupada translates everything in the form of Bhakti. Because Prabhupada want to teach Bhakti only, nothing else. Though Bhagavatam is teaching everything, not everything, every book. So that's how we have to understand. Since I am a crazy person, I am telling all these things. Vimuktaman. That is for Mayavadis. Because they Anadito Ishmadangara, they never ever worship your lotus feet. But worship means they never ever आदर करते नहीं. बोलते ये सब मिथ्या है, माया है, सब बकवास. It's like that. That's you fall down छोड़ दो. They will never attain only. They will only say that we have attained Brahman. Even though if you say you attained Brahman, you will fall down. That's how. That verses are not that they are spoken by Devatas only. Devatas only saying those verses. So that is the understanding. Okay, Mataji, clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
So, other than Pavaneshwar Das classes, in every Bhagavatam class that you hear, they will everyone say that they will fall down from Brahman. Because that is Vaishnava mode. All our devotees are embodying the mode of Srila Prabhupada and all our previous acharyas. So they talk about it. But I am a crazy person. I talk about all these different things. So kindly excuse me. Oh, they are all when apna mat, apna pat. Even I also don't know about their philosophy completely, so we cannot comment. See, in India, other than Vaishnavas, everyone will have some tinge of Mayavada. Even an atheist also will have some tinge of Mayavada. There are only two Vadas. One is Mayavada, other one is Amayavada. Atheist and all other things, people come on the category of Mayavada only. So there are different categories of Mayavadas. Some are big Mayavadis, some are medium Mayavadis, some are less Mayavadis. Even atheist also Mayavadi only in one sense. So they say Bhagavan is not there, only Brahman is there, and atheist even Brahman is also not there. So that's the difference. So it's okay. But from the bona fide Vaishnava point of view, there is absolute truth in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. No problem. Anyone you can worship. There is Pandarinath, there is Srinivas, there is Gopal, there is Ramachandra. Whomsoever you want to worship, you worship. So this is very greatness in the Vaishnavism. Vaishnavism says you worship the absolute truth because the source of you is the source of entire existence. No problem, whichever form you want to worship. Among the unlimited avatars, there is one avatar known as Paramatma, there is another avatar known as Brahman. They are as good as another avatar, any other avatar. But become a devotee of any one of the avatara. No issue. That is Vaishnavism. And other isms, they say that there is no avatara only. Avatara does not have any existence. So these are the two isms that are existing in the entire universe. Mayavada, Amayavada. Mayavada says everything is Maya. Amayavada says that everything is not Maya. Everything is real. Something is permanent, something is temporary. The spiritual world is permanently real. The material world is temporarily real. It is also real, but it is temporarily real. So like that. This is Amayavada. So it is like that. Hare Krishna, devotees online, you are okay with me or you say no, you are telling wrong?
No, Prabhuji. Perfect, sir.
Okay. If you have understood, thank you. So great. So today is Ekadashi, all of you must be fasting. I don't know, some of you might have had feast also. So in any case, we'll have a small break now. We'll again meet at 4:30. Yeah, maybe we'll start by the time you can come. So we'll continue with the next chapter at 4:30. So request everyone to come back. In the next chapter, we'll be discussing about the beautiful description of Lord Vishnu's transcendental form. I thought of covering some 15 verses of the 20th chapter in the beginning only in the first session. So the second session we can discuss the form very nicely. But whatever it is, today they being Ekadashi, the special Ashadhi Ekadashi, we will discuss the beautiful form of the Supreme Lord. So request everyone to come back. So
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I had put you a message about the question of Bhagavad Gita shlokas and Bhagavatam 27th chapter. So answer will be pertaining to 27th only, no, Prabhuji, because in 28 I read all. In 28 you have not taken. 26 you already had taken, but nothing to do with Bhagavad Gita. Then it has to be 27th, no, Prabhuji?
Not like that, not like that.
Then the
All
whole
chapters from 25 to 33, they are
the only
repetition of Bhagavad Gita. They are all repetition of Bhagavad Gita only, with more details.
Yeah, you
All
have not mentioned over there any particular chapters. Only the question was there, so I was confused. So from 25 to 23, no, Prabhuji?
all chapter 25 to 33, all are related to Bhagavad Gita. Yes, yes.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Okay, we'll meet again after around 4:30. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, devotees are there online?
Yes.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
Prabhuji.
for-
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you for joining again. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll continue with chapter